Hi, I'm Dr. Scott. I know if you're watching this video right now, you're frustrated. You're frustrated because you have weight you just can't lose. You're tired. You're fatigued. You're not sleeping well. You're uncomfortable all the time. And I know you're not doing activities in your life that you want to because of the weight. And I know what's even more frustrating for you is that, number one, you don't want to have the weight. And number two, you've probably tried every program, every powder, every diet out there, and nothing gets you the results. I'm here to tell you that there is hope, and I'm also here to tell you that it's not your fault that those programs failed you, because they failed you. It's not the other way around. Because all those programs are lacking one thing. What they're lacking is the real reason why you gain the weight to begin with. That's the key. If we can find out the underlying causes of why you gain the weight, then we can eliminate this weight gain problem. Because your weight gain is not the problem. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of something that's unhealthy in your body that's not allowing you to lose the weight. And that's why you can't lose the weight. And that's why, I'm sure this has happened to you, where you start a program, a diet program, you and a friend or something, and you both start it together, you're both excited, and 3 or 4 weeks later, they've lost a ton of weight and you haven't, and you're like, ugh, I hate them. And then you think, what's wrong with me? And then that thought gets in your mind of, oh my gosh, maybe this is just the way it's going to be. Maybe I should just accept the fact that I'm going to be the overweight my whole life. Put that thought out of your mind, because they lost the weight because their physiology was working. You didn't, because something is wrong on the inside. Because if you diet and exercise, you should lose weight if you're healthy. If you're not healthy, it just won't happen. And I know it's frustrating having everybody tell you, right? Your friends, your family, your neighbors, your doctors, everyone tell you, just eat less and exercise. And I realize you're probably eating a whole lot less, and you're exercising like crazy, at least at the beginning. Until you get frustrated and you stop, it's like, what's the point? I'm not getting results. So there is hope, okay? Now I want to discuss some of the reasons of why your physiology can go bad and what we can do about it. So the first thing I want to cover really quick here is these 6 hormones. And when you're sitting there, I want you to look at these and think to yourself, how many of these have you heard of? And what you know about the ones that you have heard of. So we have thyroxine, insulin, cortisol, leptin, epinephrine, and HGH. So these hormones have to be balanced for you to lose weight. Now, these are only 6 hormones. I mean, there's hundreds of different other processes in your body that can go wrong that can affect your health and affect you, your weight gain. And eventually, you being able to lose your weight. But these are like the basics. This is like the adding and subtracting for math for weight loss. You've got to know these. So have any of these other programs talked about these hormones? Because these hormones are really probably part of the reason why you're not functioning and you're not getting the results. So let's discuss this really quick. So I'm going to write down here weight gain. Because weight gain is a symptom. It's not a problem, right? We have to find out what factors are affecting you gaining weight. So the first one I want to talk about is your thyroid. Now your thyroid is your metabolism center. It's the one that's jacking your metabolism up or turning it down. It's either turning everything on or turning everything off. Okay? So if you have weight gain and you're fatigued and you go to your doctor, he's going to want to rule out if you have a thyroid right off the bat. And what he's going to do is he's going to pull basically TSH and a T4. All right? That's mainly what they pull to see if your thyroid's working right. However, these are just 2 markers. When I do a thyroid panel, I do 11 markers. Because pulling just these 2 don't tell you the full story. It only tells you part of the story. So you get your blood work. Let's say your TSH comes back, and the reference range on the lab was 0.35 to 5.5. That's a pretty common one that we see. But where do you function at? You function at 1.8 to 3.0. So you get your lab test, and it comes back and it says 5.5. So on the lab it says you're normal, right? But are you normal? If you're over 3, there's something wrong. There's something really wrong. Okay? Now, so when we do blood work, in all of the labs, we do functional ranges, not lab ranges. Functional ranges, we want to find out where does a normal, healthy individual function at. Lab ranges are way broader. Okay, so a lot of people told that they're normal because you may have had your thyroid checked and they say it's normal, but deep down inside you may be feeling there is something wrong. Well, it's because they only checked this, and it could be that it's just the lab says you're okay, but you're out of functional range. Now again, this is only 2 markers. I pull 11 markers. Now one marker I pull on everyone is a TPO antibody test. This marker tells us if you have a condition called Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune problem, which means if you have Hashimoto's, your immune system has gone crazy and disorganized and has started attacking your thyroid tissue. It thinks your thyroid is a foreign invader and is trying to destroy it. So if you have Hashimoto's, really it's not a thyroid problem, is it? It's an immune system problem. The thyroid is just a victim in this scenario because your immune system just keeps attacking it. Now here's the killer thing with this. Hashimoto's accounts for 90% of all thyroid cases in the United States. So you would think more people would want to pull this marker, but they don't. Why, you ask? Because their treatment for your thyroid incorporates basically only 2 markers. Whether you have a Hashimoto's or whether you have a primary thyroid, they treat it the same, all with hormone. For me, it's quite a bit different. If you have an immune system problem, we're going to support that immune system so we can calm that down. Now, the other thing that we have here is there's T4 and there's also T3. Okay? I want to write it right here just real quick. T4 and T3. From the thyroid gland, 93% of all the thyroid that's produced, the hormone, is T4, and only 7% is T3. But T4 is inactive. Okay? The body cannot use T4, only T3. What has to happen is the body has to convert T4 into T3 into a usable form. This isn't even done in your thyroid gland. This is done in your gut and in your liver. So if you have a gut or a liver problem, then it could be affecting your thyroid. That could be giving you weight gain. So that's my next thing I want to discuss real quick is your gut. Okay? Your gut houses about 2/3 of your immune system is found in your gut. And you have about 90% of all your food is absorbed in your gut. So what can happen if you have a gut problem, and you can have no symptoms and have a gut problem? Okay, a lot of my patients that we test for them, they could swear they didn't have a gut problem, and we test them and they do. So you can have a gut problem that irritates your immune system, that causes you to have Hashimoto's, that gives you a thyroid problem, that gives you weight gain. So you can see how everything is connected. Because if we were just to look here and not look anywhere else, you notice how unsuccessful we would be. We really have to peel that onion back to find out really the real reasons of why you're having weight problems or any symptoms. Okay? 90% of your food is in your gut. If you can't absorb your food, you're not going to have energy. You're not going to be able to process anything. You're going to have issues here. Okay? T4 gets turned into T3 here in your gut. Right? So that will affect the conversion of T4 into T3, which basically that's where all your hormones coming from is conversion. Okay, so we've covered thyroxine. Now, thyroxine is that hormone produced by your thyroid. Okay? Now, insulin. Let's talk about your blood sugar for a second. Blood sugar. If you want to lose weight, you've got to manage your blood sugar, period. All right? And what we're talking about is insulin. So your blood sugar should be 85 to 99 in your blood work and should be below 5.6 as your A1C test. This is glucose. So everything we eat turns to sugar. It could be your steak, could be your chicken, it could be candy, ice cream, Krispy Kreme donuts, or your broccoli or your spinach. Everything gets turned to sugar. It just depends on how fast it gets turned. And some gets turned really, really quick. So think of it this way. When your blood sugar goes high, your body takes insulin, and insulin's the hormone that takes the sugar and puts it into cells and stores it as the fat. So if you have a lot of increase of sugar all the time, you're going to be storing fat. Insulin that goes up, just think that it's going to be, you will be storing fat, period. Okay? So blood sugar is critical, that we make sure that's in balance, okay? Watch my blood sugar video. That will explain more about your blood sugar function. And on the thyroid, watch my thyroid video. This walks, you'll be blown away on, and you'll look at this going, no wonder why I'm not making improvement. All right, next thing here I want to talk about is cortisol. Okay, talk about insulin, let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. This hormone, when you're under stress, if it gets out of balance, it will cause you to gain weight. In fact, it is your belly fat hormone. It's also involved in managing your blood sugar levels. Cortisol gets that run away, it will raise your blood sugar. And that may be the reason why you have blood sugar problems. It could be cortisol. It'll also, cortisol get in your brain and give you short-term memory loss. Cortisol will also stop the T4 being converted into T3. And cortisol will give you sleep problems, okay, insomnia, that kind of thing. So here's what happens. Your cortisol should be high at night and should be low in the morning. High in the morning, low at night, okay? And how we check your cortisol levels is a saliva test, because we have to check you 4 times a day to see kind of what kind of rhythm you got here. So let's say we check you. And you come in and you're right here in the morning, you're really low, then you're normal, then you're way low, and then you're high at night. So your level looks like this versus like that. So my discussion would be, you're probably really tired in the morning, you have a hard time getting started, you're doing coffee, Rockstar, or whatever to get stimulated. You do okay in the afternoon, late afternoon you crash, 3, 4 o'clock, you just tank. You have no energy, you're tired, you want to go on a coma, right? And then at night you're thinking, well, I'm so tired, I should be able to sleep, and all of a sudden you're awake. You're looking at the ceiling. Or you go to sleep, and you just can't stay asleep. That's all a cortisol problem. And we can actually address all of these concerns naturally without medication. That includes your thyroid, your gut, your blood sugar, all of these things. So cortisol is a major player with your ability to lose weight. Because if you don't have it, guess what? You've got weight gain. And hopefully I'm not the first person that's telling you this. But there's a good chance I am the first person telling you. What else can go wrong? You can have a brain problem. Okay, your brain's the one that's telling everything that needs to be done, telling your hormones where to go and what to be produced and not be produced. It's got to be your brain. So your brain can be a problem. So we check everyone, neurological exam on everybody to make sure their brain's functioning right. And if we find there's dysfunctions, we do brain-based therapy to fix those, or support those weak parts of your brain. Now let's see here, let's go over here. We got leptin here. Now leptin is actually produced by, it's a hormone produced by your fat cells. And it basically communicates with your brain. And you can get a thing called leptin resistance, where it doesn't communicate, and then leptin will make you hungry all the time. Even though if you're full, it'll still make you hungry. It'll make you store more fat than you should. That's leptin. So the more fat you have, the more problem you have. Epinephrine, that's basically a hormone when you're exercising. It promotes carbohydrate synthesis and fat synthesis, and some other things too, but that's mainly exercise. HGH, everybody's heard of that, right? Human growth hormone. Now this is an important hormone. It's not the only hormone, and just addressing this and only this will not fix the problem, because if you have a thyroid problem, this does not fix your thyroid. Okay? So what we do is this, is the only way to find out what's going wrong in the system is to run the tests to find out what's going on. And we have to run the right tests. So we do metabolic panels. We do blood panels. We do a complete thyroid panel. We'll do saliva tests for your cortisol and some of your male-female hormones. Because that's another critical aspect too, is your estrogen and your progesterone. Because estrogen is actually stored in fat. And if your estrogen goes up, that means estrogen is a pro-fat storer. Okay? And so if your estrogen and progesterone gets out of balance, it can have a problem. Now here's the thing. You should have 40 times progesterone than you do estrogen. If you don't, you're going to have an imbalance, and that can give you weight gain, fatigue, tiredness, all the other symptoms you're checking. So we have to run the hormones to see. So we run the tests, and based on the results of the tests, we put them in functional ranges, and then we customize a support plan for that patient. So everyone's different, right? Because some people have a thyroid problem, some don't. Some have a gut problem, some don't. So based on the testing, customized plan, which we will, number one, modify your lifestyle. We will tell you what to eat, what not to eat, how often, what foods you need to stay away from. There are some foods that are healthy for you, but for some people will stimulate an autoimmune reaction and actually give you more thyroid problems. That's the first thing. Second thing is we do have product we use, supplements, creams, or powders that we use to fix the underlying physiology or support those things. Because if you have an immune system problem, there's certain things you need for that immune system to function properly. Same thing with your gut and your liver and everything like that. So everything we do is natural and it's all customized. So if what we talk to you makes sense, what you need to do is call and make an appointment to see if you qualify for our program. You know, it's great that we can talk about it, but until we take action, that's when the results come. So we don't accept everyone in our clinic. We only accept people we really think we can help and the ones that we think that will be successful, that will follow our program. Because some people want help, but some people don't want help at the same time. This gives us a general overview of how our approach works. Watch my other videos that give you more detailed information. And you probably have a lot of questions. And you can contact our office, and that's what the consultation is for. You can call us at 801-776-3200 and set up that consultation. I wish you good luck, and I hope to see you.